In this video, I'm going to explain to you why I think there's a pretty good chance that the S&P 500 is about to have the rug pulled out from under it. Now, I want you to understand first that I have much more long positions on the table than I do have short positions at this point. But yesterday, going into the close, I decided that I was going to open some September 19th, 2025, $590 puts. Now, I bought 30 of these for an average entry of $20.04 per trade. And once again, as I said before, this is a hedge. This is not me thinking the whole world is going to burn and the market's going to crap the bed, but we have made a lot of money in the past month, and we've made a lot of money going long on the market. That's the only time I ever trade. I rarely ever short unless it's a hedge, but I wanted to be transparent. I wanted to be honest with you guys about why I opened up that put position, what I plan to do with it, and why I think that this could be a pretty sizable trap for the market. Now, before we get into the actual technicals, I understand that as of right now, the market is up a little bit after hours because of NVIDIA earnings. NVIDIA absolutely killed it as far as top line and bottom line revenue. They had a massive 69% quarter over quarter increase in revenue, which is astronomical and crazy. And about 88% of that came from data center division, which is massive. But things that we have to be looking forward to in the next day or so, because right now it's 5:14 and we have not had the earnings call, is obviously the earnings call, looking at guidance, and more importantly, tariffs. Are more tariffs going to come in place over the next couple of weeks? Is the 90-day pauses that are currently seated going to continue? Is there going to be some sort of actual conclusion to this, or will things begin to escalate once again? And for instance, a company like HP, which is, I'm not trading this, is down about 15% after hours because they are saying that tariffs are increasing prices too much and they're going to have to cut their guidance. So let's start first by looking at the S&P 500, zooming all the way out to a monthly chart. This is the first thing that I always look at when I'm doing technical analysis. I want to know what is happening on the bigger time frame, what is the current structure of the market, and more importantly, are there buyers present in the market? Not small people like you and me, but like serious institutions that can actually move the market for us. And the way that we do this is by zooming out to the monthly and taking a look at the BX Trender. Now, the BX Trender, which you can see is this oscillator at the bottom of your screen, it is a free indicator, and I teach you guys my exact setup for it, how I use it, and what I look for to get in and out of all of my trades. We have a 12 series masterclass course down in the description, completely for free, in sequential order, teaching you everything that I know about trading, especially when it comes to risk management and trading discipline. The link to that and all of the courses will be in the description, and the only thing that I ask of you in return is to respect the process, respect the system, and take it in sequential order. Trying to shortcut this is only going to make you lose money, and I promise you it's not worth it. Now, the first thing we look for, as we said, is this monthly BX Trender. So when this BX Trender is red, definitely when it's making lower lows and showing dark red, this is a market that we do not want to be in. Now, it doesn't mean that we're looking to short. I mean, you could, but in most cases, I'm just looking to not trade it long, and I'm looking to find other stocks or other sectors that are meeting my requirements. So if we go back and take a look at this, you can see that during 2015, we had a multi-year sideways consolidation. If we look at the 2007-2008 financial crisis, we were red the entire time, so we would not have traded there, and just doing this alone would have literally kept us out of the financial crisis. And guess what else this would have kept us out of? The dot-com bubble. Just following this simple 1-month chart, we would not have traded the S&P 500 since the beginning of 1999. Then we would have had a multi-year rally from 2003 all the way to 2006. We would not have traded during the 08 and 09 financial crisis to the long side. Then we would have had a multi-year rally once again, followed by another pause for a couple of months, another multi-year rally, and so on and so forth. And so one of the things I want you to understand about my trading style and my system in general is number one, that we're not always winning. Historically, I only have a 62% win rate. But more importantly, what I'm looking to do is to find environments that I do not want to trade in first. Because if we can mark off all of the environments that we don't want to trade in, then it's only going to reveal and keep the markets or the time in the market that we want to trade in. And you can see that as of 3 months ago, the BX trender closed red. So this is why I have not been aggressively bullish on the market for a while now. Now, if we go into this weekly, actually, we'll go back to the monthly chart very briefly. The one reason that I was dip buying back here at the end of April is because if we turn on this market bias indicator, which just like all of the other indicators, we have a course completely for free showing you how to set this up, it's very rare that this bias ever breaks. Right? When we're trading over this bias, it means normally that we're trading with the trend. Now, it did break and held under in '08. It did break and held under in the 2000 dot-com crisis. And in 2022, we had a small break, but we wouldn't have been trading that anyway. But normally, when we pull back into this bias, it means that the market is trading at a significant discount. And so that's why I did trade for a little bit in the past couple of weeks, the S&P 500, and turned on a lot of my long bots, because when we were trading at $480, we knew we were at a massive discounted zone. Now, much like what we did on the monthly chart, we will now come in and do this on the weekly chart. We will take our draw tool and mark off all of the times that the BX trender is actually red. And you can see once again that this is going to give us an even clearer indication of when we should not be trading, because it means that there are not enough buyers in the market to push this to all-time highs. This would give us now a very strong rally here, 12% in about 3 months, here, 20% in 3 months, here, 8% in 2 months, and then here, 8% in about 2 months. These are the types of market conditions that I want to be trading long. If there is buying pressure on the weekly and there's buying pressure on the monthly, I want to be trading this. Now that leads us to where we are currently seated at right now. There is buying pressure on the weekly, but there's not enough buying pressure on the monthly yet to confirm this breakout. Now, when this makes higher lows and turns light red, that is normally a very early indication of a potential bottom, and normally the absolute lowest requirements that I need met to be taking a trade. But we still have yet to close this yet because there's still a couple of days left in the month. Now, let's go into the daily chart. So as you guys know, I have been bullish over the past couple of weeks because of that bottom, because the BX trender had turned green, but then I removed any of my bullishness on the S&P 500 back here on May 22nd because the BX trender down here at the bottom of your screen turned red. Another reason is because we are pushed up into this resistance level on our volume profile. The volume profile is this horizontal bar to the right. And when we have thick areas on the volume profile, it's normally a strong resistance. And when we have thin areas on the volume profile, it's very easy for price action to move within those thin levels. So if this were to reject here, and obviously right now it's holding a little bit better because of NVIDIA, then this move to fill these gaps down here at 560 to 528 would happen very quickly, probably within a month once again. Now, another reason that I was also bearish is because short-term market structure is bearish, right? It was bullish when price was making higher highs and higher lows, but after we broke this low back here in March, now, instead of drawing Fibonacci's from low to high, we start drawing Fibonacci's from high to low. And if we draw out our Fibonacci's, you can see that our smart money zone, which is normally the highest that institutions will allow the stock market to go to before rejecting, is seated right here between 592 to 585. You can learn to draw these right here in the Smart Money Mastery course. So does this mean that the S&P 500 has to reject and has to shit the bed? Of course not, right? And I'm not betting a huge aspect of my account, not at all. But I did decide to put a hedge in place because I have so many long positions currently open. So I want you to understand that even if the market craters, I'm going to take short term losses on my long positions. But this will at least help to the downside. And if we zoom in here to the 1 hour chart, the same exact thing, right? These principles that we talk about here, they work on the monthly, they work on the daily, they work on the weekly, they work on the hourly. The same exact situation is happening here. Point of control, volume profile, major resistance. We broke this support here. So now structure, we're not drawing fibs from low to high. We're now drawing fibs from high to low. Look at where price pushed into. Smart money zone to absolute perfection. Now I will remove my put position and my hedge if the S&P 500 gaps up and closes over $597. That would flip the BX trender from red to green, and I would remove my position entirely, because if that occurs, then the monthly will probably close with higher lows and we will most likely push into all-time highs. I hope this video helped, guys. Let me know what you think is going to happen down in the description. As always, we do not have a 100% win rate, and we don't claim to. So I don't know for sure if this is going to happen, and that's not what we're here to do. I'm not here to tell you what will happen. I'm here to just share with you exactly what I'm doing, and more importantly, why I'm doing it. I have nothing to prove. You guys have nothing to prove. And more importantly, profitable trading is not done by being right all of the time. It's done by having an edge, making sure it's proven, and sticking to that system through thick and thin.